Fight the Fear: How to Beat Your Negative Mindset and Win in Life by Mindy Holgate, read by Avicenna. Chapter 1: What if someone finds out who I really am? Fight the fear. F. The fear. Can it really be a fear of saying who you really are? So often we hide what we really want, who we really are, and what we really enjoy in life for fear that other people may not approve. And why is that an obstacle to success? Because if you cannot be honest about the fact that you enjoy a staycation, that you like cats, that you have children who light up your life, that you like model aircraft or enjoy knitting, or you have always wanted to go on the Orient Express, how are you going to be honest and tell someone that you actually don't want to sit on the board of directors, or that actually you do want to sit on the board of directors? And likewise, when you get the things you want in life, how are you going to keep them if you are constantly second guessing and looking over your shoulder thinking, what if someone finds out who I really am? If we are going to look at the real challenges to success, we have to start by looking at what you want in life. And one of the reasons why people don't achieve success that matters to them, that they can really feel, is because they craft the wrong things. They go for goals and ambitions created for them by the outside world and by the other people, rather than by their internal values, passions, and desires. If we are going to look at the real challenges to success, we have to start by looking at what you want in life. In the office, it's assumed you will want the top job. If you own your business, it's assumed you want a global empire with offices around the world. Why wouldn't you want to be a billionaire? Everyone wants that, right? If you want true success, you need to be able to confidently and succinctly say, this is what I want, and to not be worried about what anyone else thinks. And yet, it's easier said than done. So chapter 10 will be helpful for this too. To really power up your success, you cannot fight the person you really are. You have to learn to stop hiding behind what you think everyone needs you to be or what you think people think you should be. When things in life don't fit comfortably with the person you really are, it works against your success. You find yourself doing things you don't want to do, working on things that you don't enjoy, towards goals that don't fulfill you. Life lacks joy, excitement, and patience. The people sharing those only 5 days until the weekend posters on social media are probably fighting the true version of themselves. They are filling their professional days with things that do not inspire and fulfill them. They put money in the bank, and that's about it. In our world, from the moment we wake until quite often the moment we sleep, we are receiving information. Even the journey to work is not safe. Everywhere is full of things that assault your sense. You can know what someone had to breakfast on the other side of the world, whether they ate papaya sitting on the beach or porridge on the back of a yacht. You can watch videos of the wildest commute to work or in people working from the most beautiful places in the world. And someone online will have it bigger and better than you. A faster car, bigger house, a bigger TV, more shoes, more hair, more money. And we are constantly manipulated as a consumer to purchase, believe, and desire. Scary, right? No wonder it can become hard to find what you really want out of life, and it's sometimes hard to even appreciate you are on that treadmill being put along with the flow. We are constantly manipulated as a consumer to purchase, to believe, and desire. E. Examples and exercises. On many occasions, I have asked an audience, who in the room wants to own a Ferrari? What do you think the answer should be? Should it be a room full of arms shooting up? Should it be a few yes pleases? What would you expect? In my experience, only one or two hands go up, and then when I challenge those two brave souls who gingerly wave their hand near their ears, I ask, if you really want that Ferrari, why is your hand not shooting high in the air like when you were 6, when you were practically being rocket launched out of your chair where you were that desperate to tell your teacher the answer? You see, if you really want a Ferrari, then it's a passion, an internal motivator that you can feel with every fiber of your body. And the minute you see the word, hear and the word or see the image, your body is alive with excitement and passion to know more. Whenever I have ever used this example, I have never seen that level of patience and excitement. I never felt that feeling of, wow, I'm going to explode with love and at first sight if I don't get to speak in the next nanosecond. Fight the fear. That reader is a real patient. You need to find what your goals are in life, to work out what your internal motivators are, and find the confidence to be the real you. Find what makes you feel so alive that as you read this sentence or listen to this audiobook, you can feel your heart beating faster, a smile growing on your face, and your mind wandering off as you daydream about the results. And that is a patient, a goal. And also, often we hide what we really want and who we really are for the benefit of everyone else. And the result are that we are only achieve what other people want. You need to find what your goals are in life, to work out what your internal motivators are, and find the confidence to be the real you. And one occasion, when I coached a client through one of the exercises in this chapter, it horrified them that a hobby was more important to them than their partner. It was not clear. Cut on working together, we discovered that the client did not think to honor the things that mattered to them. They never did anything around the hobby that mattered to them. The internal drivers that made them feel alive were constantly ignored and turned off. By being aware of the values that mattered to them, they made small changes and it had a dramatic impact on their life in all areas. It was not a them or us situation. It didn't mean that they didn't love their partner. It was all about being aware of the values that make them as a person and knowing that. By not knowing what mattered to them, they were not feeling happy or alive. And that in turn, this was having a detrimental impact on many aspects of their lives and their world. As you will see throughout this book, not all fears jumps on you at 3 o'clock in the morning, screaming and yelling at keeping you up all night. Some are far subtler, and sometimes you don't even know they are there. And so always I think these are the more frightening fears, because at least if you know a fear exists, you can keep away from it. If you don't know a fear exists, it's very hard to avoid, isn't it? Exercise, the values exercise. The first exercise in the book is paramount to so much of the knowledge you could learn about yourself, not just for helping you to be confident about the person you are and what you want in life and getting it, but in so many other things too. It's powerful knowledge that could resonate through every aspect of your life. And let's start by working out what matters to you. To do this, you don't need to work out what the perfect life would look like. We need to forget about the outside world and think about you. What matters to you? Yeah, what matters to you? You know, I said that throughout this book, there will be a few little bits of homework. Well, here is one of them. And this is one exercise I use in my life every day. It has changed the lives of countless clients, and it could be a moment in time that makes you think differently forever. So it could be worth grabbing a pen and paper, and this is one of only a few exercises in the whole book that needs a little effort from you, but I promise it can be really interesting and through provoking and can seriously power up your results, so it's worth a go, right? It could be a light pop moment that changes your life. In fact, just recently I used this exercise with a client, and something that has literally had them stuck for years was cleared in an hour. Number one, take a moment to think about and list the different things that matter to you. This is a confidential list that you never have to share with anyone on the planet. You don't have to justify your choices. If you want to put your children but not your partner, then that is your choice. And no one is going to judge you for it. Choose 10 things, take a look at the list below. For some example, you don't have to choose from the list and you can write anything you like. For example, the things that matter to me are career, holidays, family, success, friends, money, hobbies, culture, work, leisure, sport, health, exercise, socializing, finances, writing, gardening, reading, music, and etc. Create a chart like this on column to column and add the item on each box and still in no particular order. Number two, then compare each item. For example, if you had to choose, could you live without family or holiday? If you could not live without family, then family would get 1 point and holiday get a 0. Could you live without family or fun? If you could not live without fun, then fun would get 1 point and the family is 0. This is no reflection on your family. This is a no guilt for your eyes only private document that will help you to see what matters to you. If you give family a 0, it doesn't mean that they don't matter to you. You are just finding out where in the great scheme of things they matter to you. So remember, no guilt. Complete honestly, go with your gut instinct and write the truth. Number 3, carry on moving down the column, comparing family and fun, then family and work, then family and helping others, and so on. However, remember, you won't be using your own list of 10, not this example list. Do this for each of the 10 items. You should end up with a chart that looks like this. For example, family 1 1 1 1 1 1, holiday 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 1. Yeah, the result is based on your preferences. Number 4, with this information you can work out what your values are. For instance, with our example, the top value for this person would be family, fun, and helping others, because family gets 10 points and fun gets 9 and helping others gets 8. Although it is important to know the top 10 values that impact on your life, the top 3 are the ones that matter most to you. For this person, work, holiday, and money all get 5 points, so they are not as important to them as their top 3 items. However, by being aware of them, they will be able to factor in the genuine values to their life. This means that there will be times in their life when they need to be aware of these values and honor them. And for instance, if they want to purchase something big, they know they are prepared to work hard to get it, but that they still need a holiday. Yes, it's scary to say, these things matter to me, but you have to start somewhere, right? Have you noticed how some people seem to have the light turned off in them? They seem to have lost their glow, and yet others seem to shine and look radiant and alive. And often, when people do this exercise, it throws up a surprise. Something that they thought was a lifelong value turns out to be lower down the list of priorities in their life. By being aware of this, they can start living a life that fulfills them. Again, I appreciate how startling it may be if you have just carried out this exercise and been thrown a curveball. However, the scariest step is being prepared to actually take a look and see what really matters to you, and therefore please take 10 minutes out of your day and this day today and do this exercise, and then let's look at the result and what they may mean for you. So, if you did the value exercise, how do you feel about what matters to you? Does it fit as snug as a bug with the person you are now? And do you feel confident and happy that you are living in the right home, driving the right car, going to work in the right place, and with the right people, doing what feels like the perfect job that makes a difference to the right people? Do you feel like you are surrounded by people that nurture and complete you, and that you feel sustained and happy, and like every day is a joy and gift? If yes, then great. Your fear really could lie in one of the more obvious fears. I wouldn't skip this chapter stuff. In my opinion, you will always learn more, even on this subject you think you know about, because there is always another view and there is always more and you could learn. If on the other hand the answer is no, what do you think is missing from your life? A. Action. To help, you must find the inner confidence and override the feeling that says the real you has to hide what matters to you. The person you really are is perfect, just perfect. And if you want real success in life, you need to know what that perfect version of you is all about. And that way you can be proud and confident about what that person wants and desire in life. Then no matter what comes into your life, you are able to ask yourself, does this fit with the person I am? It's good to get into the habit of asking yourself in these questions. So, if you were to look around you right now, you might see a nice environment and all the things that are supposed to make you happy, but you may not be feeling it, because maybe one of your fears is the fear to be you, and it's all too common. It takes guts and confidence to say, this is what matters to me and this is what I want. One of the reasons that people don't get the result that they want in their life is because they are frightened to show the world what they really want. And when you get the things you want in life, just knowing it's what matters to you will help build your confidence and help you maintain and keep them too. You may need the support and help from some of other chapters, however, by being strong and confident in the knowledge that this is me, you will be able to stand proud. If you want real success, You need to be prepared to say, this is me, this is what matters to me. If you want a real success, you need to be prepared to say, this is me, this is what matters to me. In the results section of this chapter, you will see that by creating focused goals that really resonate with your value, you are more able to achieve them. You can stay focused on what you want and ignore the fear, and answer these questions and create some of your own. The more fun and extreme, the better, and you will see as you read this book that each chapter adds more skills, strategies, and exercises to really help you more power up your success. Do you want to own a global empire? Do you want to sit on the board of directors? Do you want to sit on the parent-teacher associations? Do you want to sing in your local choir? Do you want to work in your local store? Do you want to be a best-selling author? Or do you want to own your own jet? Do you want to run your own successful business? Or do you want to set up your own charity? Or do you want to sing a football stadium? No one has the right to tell you who you are except you, and yet unless you define yourself, this world has a habit of doing it for you. And take a moment to think about the question you like to answer to. A result: when you feel confident, internally empowered about the person you are and what matters to you in life, you will be able to live in a way that makes you feel good. You will smile more too. Do you remember I started this chapter by asking, who wants a Ferrari? When you feel confident and internally empowered about the person you are and what matters to you in life, you will be able to live in a way that makes you feel good. And what do you want? What ideas did the action section of this chapter create for you? So often we glaze over and go on autopilot when we hear this question. When I'm running a master class or training session and this question gets asked, I hear things like, I want to travel the world, I want to be mortgage free, I want a global empire, I want a sport cars, I wanted to make a lots of money. But when I challenge people on their answer, they rarely have any details for me. One businesswoman told me she wanted to make money more, so I asked her, how much more was more? Well, lots, she said. How much is lots? I asked. You could see she was really thinking about this, and the rest of the delegates were all looking at her, and for the first few seconds they were wondering what she was thinking, and then I realized they had flipped their thinking to start reassessing their own goals and were digging deeper into what they really wanted. And this lady thought I could see that she was struggling, so I asked, what do you want the money for? Well, I like holidays and I have not had one for 5 years. Okay, so where do you want to go? This lady went on to tell me about how she would love to go on a cruise, indoor cabin or outdoors. Outdoors, she said with a passion. We were getting somewhere. Suite or just a nice balcony? We don't need a suite. We want to be spending that much time in the room. No, we're really getting somewhere. Is that the only holiday? I asked. Oh no, I would love to take a whole family away to Portugal for a holiday. 2 weeks or one? I asked. Only one, I don't like them that much. In this way, the woman was able to build a picture of how much money she wanted to earn, what she wanted to do with it, and to really build up some real passion for it. Now, if she had not taken the time to work out what she personally wanted, she could so easily have tried to create a goal that was not harmonious to her. If she had listened to the outside world, the world of X Factor and Facebook, she could have created a goal that said that she needed private jets and Finland the south of France for 6 weeks, and that wouldn't have been a goal that floated her boat, and it wouldn't have been achievable. And I'm also pleased to say that the Holidaying Entrepreneurs Facebook page has been plastered with the holiday snaps for the whole year. And we have seen with our holidaying entrepreneur, you need to have clearly defined goals to get somewhere in life, and your value impact on what those goals look like, and they are the backbone to your success. You need to have clearly defined goals to get somewhere in life. I have also seen the impact it can have on a person's success when they don't stand proud about the person they are. I remember the business owner who was damaging their health, their family life, and their business because they wouldn't tell the professional world that they were a parent. As their children were a crime, what message would that send to their children as they grow up? What kind of the role model is that? As we worked together, they were able to see that it was ridiculous to keep up this fakery. Okay, so there was a real risk that they could lose business, but because people had grown accustomed to being able to communicate with a business owner 24/7. However, as this business owner found out, it was their choice to stay stuck with this customer or to move forward and find customer that would respect them. It's scary to do this, and it is a sensible fear. However, with the right support and the right action, this person was able to think in a new way. They reframed their beliefs so that they could honor their core value and create goals that would make for a happy personal and professional life. I speak from experience here. I have autoimmune disease, and now I don't share this for you to say, oh, poor you. I share this because when I came back to work in 2013 after a year and half of laying around in a dark room saying, ouch, I had to think to myself, do I risk losing out on work by being honest with people and telling them that I can only work part-time? Or do I lie about my capabilities? Being a coach, I knew what people were not saying as well as they were saying. I saw it as a real risk that people in business would consider me weak if I admitted these illnesses. And in my experience, and some too, however, I appreciated I was at risk of letting it become a fear. I wanted to test the limits of being who I am. What's that scary, of course? I'm not a robot, but we all have to push ourselves. As a coach, I feel that's important that I regularly remember the real fear that my clients so often feel. I have learned many ways over the years to remove so much fear from my life, and it's only by pushing ourselves that we can all constantly grow and get better results from ourselves and our life. Since becoming poorly, the long-haul flight holidays have been less appealing, and a European caravaning makes me happier. In the middle of an international celebrated Global Entrepreneur Week, I told everyone I love caravaning and that I was a sick business owner, and afterward I had the same number of people coming up and wanting to talk to me as in previous years. The same number of inquiries, bookings, and opportunity, and the same level of high reviews from my audience. And yes, it was scary being the real me, but being myself really was the only option. If I want to move through life feeling genuinely happy with my result and my life, it's the only option. Success will be easier to achieve if you are not putting on a pretend facade that needs to be constantly maintained. And think how much energy you could be putting into winning at work and your success if you dealt with the fear and what the strength to be true to who you are. Would or could you have done the same? There have been many studies that show that people don't stand up for others in a crowded environment because of the group mentality that overrides our own opinions and values, and nobody wants to stand out and speak up. If you are able to find what your values are, to be confident about them and create goals around them, then you will know that your actions are true and are taking you toward the result you want. You could still find yourself in a scary situation, however. You will have the confidence to go through them because the result that you expect will far outweigh the fear. And know how fun does that sound? Find the strength and inner confidence. Remain true to yourself so that wherever you are and whoever you are with, you are able to get the result you want in life. I don't want to be frivolous or clip here. I won't mind admitting in the run-up to that event, I questioned if I was committing professional suicide by admitting a love of caravans and the need to for rest and medication. I asked my husband on a number of occasions if he would listen to my keynote. I asked my teenage children to endure my keynote. I needed to get the opinions of people who would be critical and yet honest about my work, and people who knew my target audience and who wouldn't just say, ah, that's nice, dear. And this was something I knew I could get from my close family. My children and I have a code, and when they show me a piece of work, I will ask them, are you wanting the A, polite replay, or B, realistic one? And the great thing about teenagers is they don't have an A mode. Their setting is permanently on the B setting. So if I pushing my like with my comment, I know my kids would let me know. And taking into account the current trend at the time of a racing caravan on the back of reasonably priced car on the UK's top TV car magazine show, I really was leaving myself open for embarrassment. Was I really going to walk into a room full of my target audience for business and do this? If you want to achieve your big goals and dreams, you need to be able to fly in the opposite directions to a room full of other people. Yeah, in the UK, we have seen a massive growth in self-employment for women, in particular, according to research by Julia Dean OBA. Since 2009, women have accounted for over half of the overall growth in self-employment, and yet this is a risky path to take, and it's fraught with a fear and risk. And by choosing self-employment, women are missing out on the change to sit on the board of directors, to rise on to the top of a FTSE company, to make CEO. Why are women feeling it beyond their reach to achieve these things and choosing the easy option? Do women need training to get to the top? Or are more and more people redefining what success, goals, and ambition look like? The increase of men taking advantage of fairer rights to paternity leave has not happened, despite the country poets are ready for panic about the lack of skilled staff. Why is this another sign that people fear speaking up for the things that matter to them in life? What does that do for success? Happy people make happy stuff, which is something we hear more and more, and productivity is not much improved on 1960s standard, and yeah, we are busier than ever, so something has to change. And are you ready to be part of that? To do this, you will sometimes have to tell a room of people what your caravan is. And scary? Absolutely. Worth doing? Yeah, absolutely. Happy people make happy stuff. You will need to gauge people's opinion. You may still experience fear to begin with. However, positive action will result in more positive reaction. It is only inertia and inaction that will allow that fear to grow and fester. Know your values, know your passion, and your reasons for them. And yet, fear could still be a deciding factor that stops you from taking action to enable the true you to walk away with the result you want. To ensure you still take the necessary action, you need to look at your reason for this. If you don't honor your values, what would you be agreeing to? Ask yourself these very important questions. If I do not work out who I really am, and if I'm not prepared to stand up and be that person, then what am I agreeing to? If I don't honor the person that I really am and my values, then what am I agreeing to? Think back to the values exercise and the values that matters to you, and what are you agreeing to live without, and what are you agreeing to sacrifice. And ask yourself, if you continue to live in a style that does not honor your value, what impact does it have on your life? What impact does it have on those that you love? And yes, it's scary to be the person that you want to be. However, is it not more frightening to hide the person you are meant to be? Do you remember the patient I said you needed to find what you really want? Remember the person that really wants a Ferrari. That is how you need to feel about this, as if your very being needs to know the answer to the question on this page. And to be honest with you, it will be hard to achieve the big ambitions of your life if you don't, which basically means you are trapped in this chapter. The fact is, I'm speaking to you as I speak to my client, with absolute love and a belief that you can get the result that you want. However, it does have to come from action, and not all action means working 16 hours a day, choosing climbing mountain. One of the most powerful things you will ever do is to understand that you are free to choose to think what you think. And you can allow fear to be in charge. Or you can break down each fear, see how it works, see where it is in your life, use this book to dismantle it and get what you want. So if you did take action in chapter 1, shall we move on and set some seriously awesome goals? And now I bet that scares the pants of you. Don't worry, we are in this together, aren't we? Chapter 2. I'm scared of setting goals. Fear. Setting goals is not something to be done when hungover just because the date changed to the 1st of January. And this is something that has infuriated me since I was young. Just after the big man has come down the chimney, that's Father Christmas Santa, Saint Nick, And there is still a house full of sweets and goodies and ton of toys to play at. It's the worst weather of the year and all you want to do is hibernate. But according to the TV, we should be setting goals to lose weight and get fit and walk into work with a burning ambition to have the top job by Easter. The other culprits for forcing goals on us that set us on a wrong footing from a young age are teachers. Sorry, teachers, but you do. Teachers look down their noses in disappointment when I said I was not going to university. That was their goal for me, but it was so out of sync with the person that I really was, and they were completely unaware that I was so shy I wouldn't have been able to ask someone there the nearest toilet was and left alone find any of my lecturers. Do not assume a Gobi teen is confident because I most certainly was not. Goals are set in our life in the weirdest way. When it's dark and cold and the house is full of tasty food, or by teachers who have never experienced anything other than education, it concerns me that in the 21st century we still don't teach about achieving goals or about motivation and confidence building in schools. Even though my children come home and tell me how they are doing according to grades on a piece of paper, then thankful they live in a house where they are encouraged to think about what they want to feel and where they want to be and what do they want to be doing, rather than being asked, what university do you want to go and how much money do you want to earn? Remember, money may be a core value for you, however, it's not for me or my family members, and we are far more likely to achieve true success if we work according to what really floats our boat. And that's when you know that what values excite you? How will you bring them to life? The answer is goals. The problem can be that people sometimes create goals that are so scary they are the equivalent of saying, today I'm going to walk naked down to the motorway, and or today I will be walking to very hungry crocodiles that have not been fed for 2 weeks, or I will paint myself in my corporate gallery with a sign on my head saying, I'm the most successful business owner in the world with my contact details strapped on my head in a big glittery and feather hat pieces, and that will get me world recognition. Well, quiet, it's scary. Yes, it will get you noticed, but is it the best goal you could have set? And is it really likely you are going to go ahead with it? Have you really thought it through? But for all my silliness, this is what so many people's goals really look like. They are poorly planned, ill-advised, unachievable, unrealistic, and so massively huge. Your brain struggles to compute it, literally. On the other hand, other people wander along hoping that success will somehow tap them on the shoulder and say, hi, I understand you were looking for me. I can appreciate why many people shy away from setting goals altogether or setting goals that are so ambiguous that it would be sheer luck if they got there. Because somewhere in their in the past there could be a memory of an aunt failing or at her diet by the 16th of January, or feeling useless at school because Katie was always clever. That is once I have heard so many times. And so was so much brighter than me at school. So what? Big deal? Why should that define your goals of success? Why should John at high school's ability to run for longer than you mean you will always believe you are less competent in the boardroom or at the meeting table? This may seem like a draft analogy, however, in my experience, when you dig down with a client and explore their beliefs, you will discover that the reason they walk into a new situation or opportunity thinking, oh no, I'm dreading this, it's because of a deep-rooted belief that says, yeah, you have never been that good at that, have you? So ask yourself, what kind of goals do I set? And do you set goals that are too easily achieved, or do you set goals that are too unrealistic? So ask yourself, what kind of goals do I set? Do you set goals that are too easily achieved? Almost so easy they are as unimpressive as telling your boss you bruised your teeth in this morning. Or do you set goals that are too unrealistic so huge you feel like giving up before you even get started? Most people would not plan their dream trip around the world and think, right, all I need is a pair of trainers, let's do this, would they? So what makes a goal big and achievable? What makes a goal scary and achievable? And what makes a goal work? You don't just run around hoping for the best, shouting instructions and hoping someone heard you and will do some of what they might have heard. If you do, you are far more likely to end up feeling demotivated and stuck. And people that set the wrong goals or fear setting on the goals end up procrastinating and invariably don't get the result at work that they want. As it is fear manifests itself with so many professional people as negative feeling, results, and actions, and all because they fear setting goals. Examples and exercises. Let's shake up your attitude to goals. You may be reading this thinking, I already set a goal. Yes, you may do. However, are they right goals? Do they make you feel a little bit like the first time you got on a bike? And take a business owner who told me they wanted to be a little more hours, but when pushed on how many more hours, they had no idea. And when I pushed further, they had no idea how many hours the company could cope with or what their maximum capacity was. And when I pushed even further, they didn't have a clue what they wanted the company to look like in 3 years' time. How can you work toward the goal if you don't know what it is? Surely it's madness when attempting to win at work to set random goals with no definition and use hope and ambiguousness and pray to the random gods of luck. Goals should make you feel like you wish there was a hand to steady the seat for you, because it can feel really scary and that road can look really hard. Do your goals push you? Do you feel fear? If a goal does not make you feel a little like you are standing a little too close to the edge of the tall mountain with a little too much breeze in your hair, then it's not the right goal. A goal should make you say, ooh, and oh yeah, at the same time. A goal should be scary. It should make you feel a little bit like you need to hold on to something. You should feel like you desperately want to tell someone, but you are a bit scared because if you tell someone about it, well, then you have to go and do something about it, right? That means it's a good goal. But it's so much more than that, and we need to help you create goals that have the right level of fear, that are right for you and only you. And these 3 exercises will help you define your goals and give you the confidence to override the fears that stop you going for it. Exercise 1. Power goals. So let's start at the beginning. What do you want? What do you really want? I want you to create a sentence that sums up what you want. For me, I imagine that I can see the words to my goal written on my forehead. Why? Because every time I wash my hands, there is a mirror, and in every mirror I visualize those words. When I get ready in the morning, I can see those words. When I am driving the car, I can see the word. When I walk past a window, I can see the word. Even if I don't notice my reflection, I am sure my subconscious spots the visualization and keeps working on my goal, because I have a habit of hitting target pretty quick. It's obviously not a long sentence, it's a short, concise sentence that my brain knows and adores. It's a powerful and I feel like I own the goal and the contents of it already. What would be in your sentence? You need to phrase your sentence in the positive. Here are some rules to follow. Do not include these words. Don't, want, hope, should, like, want, need, try. Do include all these words. Aim, will, going, have, achieve, as far as be concise. Do add dates, figures, addresses, times, location, facts, names, and amounts. Your sentence could look like this. I will have 10 new clients by the 16th of the next month that will give me an additional income of X. A poor and responsive goal could look like this. I will try to get some more clients in the next few months. Another bad example for you is, I won't let people take advantage of me at work anymore. A powerful goal could be, people respect me at work and appreciate me and my own goals and ambitions. Exercise 2. The power of words. I don't see my working week as a work. I see my working week as my time to be with the people who want more out of life, and I get the joy of helping them achieve that. It's not work. I adore it. Work is a word that I associate with things that are hard. Scrubbing the barnacles of my dad's boat as a kid, and now that I was work. I used to go home with the bleeding knuckles. As much fun as it was to be by the sea, the bleeding knuckles were not, so I choose to get rid of the word work, and I don't work. In fact, when I'm gardening, that too is not work. That's fun. You see how for me there is a very little work in my life. Why I'm telling you this to you? Because I choose my words, even in my head, very carefully. I want to achieve, and I know that with what I share here with you in this book, I get to achieve my goals, and I want you to get the same result. And if I use words that have negative connotation even in my head, overestimating my chance of success. For me, the work the word work is a negative word, and any undesirable words that are followed in my head can risk stopping me from taking action and can you cause procrastination. It's not just about choosing the right goals, it's not just thinking about every aspect of the goal, it's also about choosing the right word to describe your goals. And the words are very, very important. The way you talk to yourself will power up your goals. For example, if you are someone that loves being outside that and hates hard work and being stuck indoors, and you know that achieve your heart desire is going to take a lot of commitment and dedication, then use those words. It's not about choosing the right goals. It's not just thinking about every aspect of the goal. It's also about choosing the right words to describe your goals. Don't use words like it's going to take a ton of hard work and hours in the office. Let's think it is true. You are an outdoorsy person who has thought to pick on a goal, and you know the goal is going to need things from you and that take you outside of your comfort zone and stick you indoors in an office. However, what do you do to your success is if you use words that work in a very contradictory style to your natural way of thinking and your very belief. Words can easily drag us down. Our minds can be easily entrenched into thinking something is too hard to achieve just by the way we choose to talk to ourselves. You can, in evac, convince yourself it's too hard and scary, right? You can literally talk yourself out of getting started on a goal just by the way you are talking about the goal in your head. So power up your chance of success with the words you use. What words are you going to choose to use on yourself? Exercise 3. Break it down. When you know what you want, you need to break down every last detail of the goal. Therefore, as you plan your goals, you dismantle them. Remember to choose your words wisely. And what words do you like? It sounds a little bit like you are back at school and any minute now I'm going to ask you to talk about imagery. But seriously, are you a person that loves city life? The buzz and the commotions? Are you a wish for peace and quiet and the sound of the bird song? And think back to your values. What are your core there? And what are the other seven and how could they impact on your goal success? We need to break your goal down into manageable pieces. If you had said to Richard Branson at 16 years of age, here you go, mate, here is a global empire, I wouldn't mind betting that he would have struggled or at least stretched his head and the thought, right, what do I want? I do know. Every great success needs to be broken down into manageable pieces, and you start in a way that works for you, and that means breaking it down using your natural style. And there is a saying I use a lot: how do you eat a mountain of cheese in one bite at a time? So I look at the big picture, the big dream, the big goal, and start chipping bits away at it. You can do this by actually writing each piece of down on the notepad or creating an Excel spreadsheet, and the choice is yours. Just go with your natural style of working. How would you tackle a task that you are good at? How do you eat a mountain of cheese? One bite at a time, right? You need to ask lots of questions, and here are a good few to get you started. Who is there with you? What does your goal look like? How many hours a week do you work? Do you work? Do you see it as a work? Do you travel? Do you work alone? What needs to happen? Do you have all the skills you need? And what jobs do you hate doing? And what will you probably learn to do first or outsource? Who can you rely on to support you to achieve this? Who can you rely on to give you honest feedback? Who will keep you on track? How will you know you are making a progress? How will you overcome failure? How will you finance this? How will you stop your passion for X from getting in the way of you achieving this? What are you not good at? What beliefs do you hold about yourself that are risks to your X success? And what time scale do you need to set for the goal? Are you realistic in this goal? What question could you ask yourself? Remember, I don't know what your goal is, so considering you do know what your goal is, think about any additional questions you need to ask of yourself to be able to chip your big goal into manageable pieces. I have a sneak into the list some questions I think you need to answer to really help you succeed in your goals at work. I want you to constantly recap with you. You need to know the person you really are. You need to know what you really want and not what someone else's version of success is. You need to set clearly defined goal and you need to break goals down into manageable pieces. For a goal to work, you need to break it down from going up for a promotion to getting a product in every store in the world. Whatever your burning ambitions are, whatever your goals are, you need to break them down. A for action. Big goals should be a massive goal that make you smile from ear to ear. They should make you smile so much that you sleep at sleep of kids with a new shiny bike at the end of their beds because you beg your parent to let you put it there because it's such a cool present and you cannot bear to be parted from it. We started in chapter 1 by understanding what you believed in and what mattered to you most. And now ask, what do you want? I asked you in the chapter 1 about the Ferrari. And now if that makes you grin from ear to ear, what are you going to do to get it? If it's not a Ferrari, then what is it that you want? Bring your goal into focus with exercise above and make them so clear in your mind that you can feel them. They should light up your mind as if you have already achieved them. And what emotion would you be feeling if you did? Using the exercise from this chapter, what action are you going to take? The fear of setting goals will haunt your success at work forever unless you take action today. Not next week or after this piece of work is done or after you have finished working with this client. Today, right now, and remember it doesn't need to start with a grand gesture. Think back to the goal of walking naked down the motorway with two very hungry crocodiles that have not been fed for 2 weeks in your corporate colors with a sign on your head to get your company known. It's extreme and it wouldn't work. There are easier and far more effective ways to achieve. So, where will you choose to start? Goals are as unique as you are, so ultimately you need to focus on just you. If your goal is going to require you to take yourself out of your comfort zone, your words will need to be powered up, and to do what you will need to start by being nice to yourself. If you wouldn't say it to your best mate or your mom, then don't say it to yourself. Seriously, by the end of this chapter, when you have set the goal to get the result you want, you need to be walking out of the door every day saying the right things in your head. We will look at this in more detail in chapter 4, and you need to ask yourself the challenging question that ensure you have set yourself up for success. The fact is that if you believe in yourself and you hold firm to that belief, that no matter what happens, even if it all goes wrong, you will find a way forward and you will pick yourself up. Maybe you will even have a chuckle and a nod of your head at an obstacle in your way and then move forward, and then you will not be scared to set goals. Goals are supposed to be scary and they are supposed to make you step back in awe for just a moment. You should think to yourself, wow, this is what I want. As a result, the fear of not setting goals is one of the can manifest in so many ways. And ironically, with all of our passion for motivational quotes and empowering posters adorning our office walls and our social media streams, it's hard to believe it's a real fear at all. However, so many professional people set goals in the wrong way. People looking to win at work can set a goal that are so unachievable they cause their success rate to take a nosedive and their finances to take a dip as they invest in more personal and professional development courses and books, but still use the same wrong methodology. If you change the method you use and access your natural style, and you could drastically change your result. Like the business owner that said that they wanted to increase their agency billable hours, but when I challenged them and asked by how much they said lots, when we delved deeper and to work out how much, it became clear that they didn't know. Thus, we worked out what the company could feasibly look after with their current workforce and what they would ideally look after in 3 years' time and in 5 years' time. They currently saw billable hours between 40 and 120 a week. From this, we were able to create a new billable hours goal for the end of the month and for 6 months' time. Within 4 days, they had hit their 1-month goal of 500 hours, and within 3 weeks, they had hit their target of 1,200 hours. I know that is creating a clear goal, breaking down the action, working to your natural style, and taking the right action. And it was a joy to get a message saying they would smash their target so fast. Not all goals are big like that. Sometimes a goal is far more subtle, but just as powerful. Your goal could be to become more confident in the workplace and stand up for what you believe in. For instance, I had a client who was rather shy and had great ideas, but didn't have the confidence to say what they were thinking because they were new to the company. However, their boss had made it clear they valued their opinion and wanted to see them achieve because they saw real potential in them. The goal was set to help this person to be more vocal, confident, assertive, and the goal was achieved. Only you need to ever know what you aim to achieve. And the joy of this process is that no one need ever know what you are doing. It is your private road to success, and there is the possibility that you may wish to or need to share aspect of it with the others, like however the nuts and bolts and the dismantling tree cases of your goal and yours alone, and only you need ever know what you aim to achieve. Goals are very individual, private, and personal, and by honoring what matters to you and creating personal goals, you are far more likely to reach them, and then you can smile confidently and you can get on with it. And that leads us nicely into chapter